Welcome to everyone. Thanks for coming along to the Utopian Edge exhibition. Katoomba is really a kind of a multiple utopia, a place where all kinds of other things, other ways of being seem to become possible somehow by this position of Katoomba being a bit of a centre but also a bit of a periphery. Within this place we set the students the challenge to engage in an exercise that we call utopian realism. So we're really asking them to dream big about kind of radical possibilities to reinvent these spaces while still being ruthlessly pragmatic about the way that they do it. So basing their proposals on a rigorous investigation of what is here now, the realities of these spaces and the people who use them. Often us as designers, we sit a bit removed from the realities of the places that we're designing for. We ask the students to do exactly the opposite of that. And they really met that challenge head on with great enthusiasm. They've been out there every day, in the uncharacteristic Katoomba heat, investigating their sites, speaking to people, learning the history, hearing about problems and opportunities, the kind of desires and constraints that are out there. And they even began to physically intervene in the spaces in subtle ways, creating games and public forums to really get a richer kind of understanding of these places. And it was in this way that they've not only been dreaming up their own kind of private utopias for what they think Katoomba should be, but really starting to find ways to create these little micro-utopias together at a community level.
We also put a challenge to the students to really try and work within the existing and unique conditions that you find in Katoomba. So celebrating the overgrown plants and the dilapidated buildings and the strange little back lanes, rather than taking the approach of we need to clean up or we need to erase what's here. We ask them to propose minimal and very site-specific interventions, not only on a material or physical level, but also thinking about ways in which they could bring the community along with them or create interventions that might resonate with the local community, and how you work within a city with such a transient population of tourists and a very, old city as well as dilapidated city, and all of the big issues that kind of face Katoomba.
To all the students, a massive thank you for the huge amount of work that you guys have done over the last 9 days. The proposals themselves are all fantastic, and you've really lived up to our hopes for being both transformative and realistic in the way you've thought about them. But equally wonderful is the kind of wealth of rich information that you've revealed through all your research.
The people that we really saw come through the space are people who use it as a relaxing space. What we've created is a bit of an oasis with a bit of a lush canopy over half the space, as you can see in the diagram. And it basically features a little weekend pop-up cafe, restaurant style atmosphere that just brings people together.
In our initial investigation of the lane, we found a lot of things like in Katoomba that were a bit run down.
The area is used as a thoroughfare, so it's attached to Moline, so you can kind of walk all the way through to Lowland Street if you follow through.
So coming back to the things being broken and such, that's where we got the idea of mending. Like that was the overriding term for our whole thing.
We decided that something that would suit the vibe of Katoomba and the people that are here is to use the many resources that are available already here and to create a mending market. So basically you would bring your broken things to the market, which happened once a month, and you would learn how to mend them.
Okay, so we looked at Moline, just outside the cultural centre here. It's a very sort of mysterious lane, as we found. We heard that it used to be the heart of Katoomba, so we sort of like to reimagine it that way, and it was kind of riddled with lots of little artefacts and weird little locked doors and passageways and locked-in windows.
From there we decided to sort of enhance those little artefacts by sort of just making the space a bit more entertaining, and I suppose sort of like a mystery playground where you'd see like there would be some wind chimes around some of the walls, and then there would be a book swap place around the stairs where you could just sit down and lounge, and then there would be some artist works from Tula presenting their works, and just a food truck to accommodate the hungry people there.
So we had the site of Studley Place, so that is a car park located in Katoomba Street. and we sort of observed the nomadic temporary lifestyles of the people who were coming through this site, and that really informed our final work. We decided to appropriately name it Nomad's Land because it is that temporary space.
So we've broken up the proposal into 3 stages, using the unused, overgrown areas to build these mounds that people can sit, rest, or climb on and take a break on the busy Katoomba street.
We realised that there weren't any spaces for kids to hang out and chill out, and that the school was next door. So we used this opportunity to create a playground for kids.
What we proposed was to create a multifunctional event space which utilises the unused fire escapes and the platforms behind the Savoy.
So we had the challenge of enabling the space to function as it is during the day, so as a car park for the public. We needed a space that could be very versatile, pack up, by the day, explode into the night. So we wanted to create somewhere that's ever changing and constantly different activities that they can interact with and kind of never get bored with.
It's very impressive that in such a short space of time they came up with such a complex solution to really difficult spaces, really.
They have. They've studied the town and drawn on what's going on here for these ideas. They're not just imposing them on the town, and I'd like to see some of these things happen.
Very interesting to see how young people would answer the question if they were a mayor for the day too. And I guess they've had good teachers to guide them.
I just think it's really fascinating, and all this wonderful energy and creativity coming from the students and from the organisers.
It's wonderful to see some fresh ideas and some young talent dedicated to the task, and so we see more of it.
As a recent local, it's really interesting to see that some of the laneways that have been chosen I'm not actually aware of. And so Bursell Lane is one here. I'm really intrigued by this concept of the mending of it and the monthly mending meetup. To be able to engage the community in that process and to come up with these ideas, I think is fantastic.